Welcome back to SAFC Live. We're delighted to say that Sunderland have got a draw coming from behind twice down at Vicarage Road. 2-2 in the end, Danny. Odd game, but in the end, you know, those new players making a difference.
Yeah, it was action-packed really, wasn't it? I felt over the balance of the 90 minutes, a draw was probably a fair result. If you're looking at individual scenarios and situations in the game, the penalty shout on Jack Clarke, I think we just seen Jack at the end over at the referee. I think he's asking him and he's probably seen it back and he feels it was a penalty. I felt it was a penalty. Big chance for Liam Diaku. One-on-one, just drags it past the far post. So we had good opportunities as well. You mentioned it there, the young lads coming off the bench, give us some energy, a little lift when we needed it. And we get the goal and we deserved it, I felt. Coming up against the team, just come down from the Premier League. Big expectation on them to produce this season. But we come back, show good character and we deserve that point. Let's
have a look through then at the action here on SAFC Live, and we'll talk you through some of the key moments. It was Watford who landed the first punch this afternoon with a goal from Keenan Davis on his debut as well. Well, first start anyway, on loan from Aston Villa. And he was a bit of a handful all afternoon, to be fair to Davis, wasn't he?
He was, and I knew that before the game. I've seen him a few times last season. Big, strong boy, and it was a tough test for Luke O'Neill. I thought in general Luke handled him quite well in that first half. He was aggressive on the front foot, nicked in front of him a few times. But yeah, we'll obviously see the goal in a minute. It's, you know, you can always break goals down, and we'll see, not saying who was at fault as such, but what could we perhaps have done a little bit better. But you see there Linden on the attack on his left foot, and first 10-15 minutes we struggled to get Patrick and Jack into the game, but you see Patrick, he grew into it, and certainly in the second half as well, trying to get him on the ball as much as you can. He's confident at this moment in time. He got himself a couple of goals in midweek, and that's what you want to see from Patrick, receiving the ball out wide, driving into that 18-yard box and trying to commit defenders. I think this one is it, Pedro. It was a team effort, wasn't it? And they didn't offer too much themselves in that first half. If I'm honest, over the 90 minutes, I was disappointed with Watford. But
if it hadn't been for João Pedro, they probably wouldn't have created very much at all. Yeah, he was their main
threat, wasn't he? As you said there, here's the goal now. So that's that ball in between. You see the defence, they're all looking at each other. Who's not picking up, who's not doing their job. You see it now. See Luke O'Neill is there, and then the man's in between, Linden and Luke. Linden gets dragged narrow. Then Patrick's got to see it, or Linden's got to be shouting him back, Patrick, come and help out here, I'm short, I'm getting narrow. And it's Kamara on the overlap, he has a touch, doesn't he? Just pulls it across the face there. And there's, as you say there, Keenan Davis, was he 6 yards out to help himself to a goal. And is the big shout now for a penalty. And you said it there, Frank, you can look at one or two of their players, they perhaps think, oh, that's a penalty, and it's clumsy. I think he trips over his own foot, or he stands on the back of Jack Clarke's heels, I'm not sure. Jack's looking at the ref on that angle there, look at it. You know, Jack's took the ball into his chest, back to goal, holding the ball up, and he just clattered into the back of him. That's a penalty all day, yeah. And this one here, Corey Evans is in it, strike from distance. You know, catches it quite well, but it's comfortable for the goalkeeper. Sees it from a way out. And there's another one. Here's the goal now. It's a lovely little ball. This is what we're all about, in and around the box. And when we've got these technical players in the team, that's the type of balls we've got to be looking for. Into Alex Pritchard fires it across, doesn't he? And then over that far side, Jack Clarke's involved with the goalkeeper. And see the referee there pointing to his whistle. There's Shahrui trying to get back on the line. But Elise, he does well, doesn't he? He backs up Jack Clarke, goes and makes up the numbers, gets the shot away, and it's just, a few centimetres over the line. We've seen it back on the goal line technology picture. And he deserved that. He was excellent in the week. Elise, and he was excellent again this afternoon defensively at times, and he got forward when he could, supporting play, gets the strike away, and it's a fraction over the line. And I thought we'd go in at half time, we deserved it, and here's that camera angle now to verify it, that it has crossed the line. What are we talking there? Good 3 or 4 centimetres maybe, but that's all it needs, isn't it? So you go in at half time there. Does it make Tony Mowbray's half time talk a little bit different? Perhaps it does, because you know we're going in there on the front foot. We were up, and even before the goal, 5-10 minutes before half time, I thought we were quite bright.
However, in the first 15 of the
second half we come out and it was the opposite. Yeah, they got back on the front foot. They had a little bit more play. That's a good opportunity for them. He should be doing better there, Spria. And here is that second goal now. And it's the thing. It did worry me before the game in terms of set plays. We did give a few free kicks away. They had a few corners, and it's that first contact. You see, ball comes back in. It's a difficult one for Luke O'Neill. I've been there myself. You panic a little bit. He's got a man below him, I think Pato can still maybe come out. He goes back to his line there. You see, yes, Pato's got a few bodies in front of him, but he's got an advantage. He can come and spring. He can punch that ball away. If he runs and sprints at that, he can clear that and punch it. Luke's trying to lean over the top of his man. Is it Courtney House who's come up there for the set play? And unfortunately for Luke, he directs it past Anthony Patterson.
That was well taken, but it was offside, unfortunately, from Jack Clark.
Jack was quiet in that second half, but we'll see it back on the angle in a minute, which does show he is. And Jackie's got to be looking across the line there, just keep himself onside, and he's helping himself to goal to get us back on track. Lovely little stand-up from Ahmad, who come off the bench. I thought he was bright. Jack's away there, thinking he's got us back at level at 2-2, but you see him there, never quite onside. Lovely finish, lovely contact on the ball, but flagged up for the offside. Opportunity now for Watford coming back into it. A little bit of a mix-up between ourselves, and that was the story for the majority of the second half. From our point of view, I felt what we weren't quite at it today. Just those little incidents there, what you see, just taking care on the ball really, but it fizzes past the right-hand side post. But we come back into it. See, Patrick was bright as well. Luke O'Nine's up there from a set play, doesn't get anything on it. If he does, I think he's beaten the keeper at his near post. You see it from this angle now. Fizz the cross from Patrick. Luke can't quite get anything on it. But that's what I like from the side at the minute. Again, another one, Jack, who, we're coming into this now. We've used all our substitutions. We brought 5 attacking players on, really. Even Barr, I thought he was bright and he was busy trying to get us going forward. And there, Diaku, you'd fancy him, wouldn't you? By the time he strikes the ball, he's only about 8 yards out. Just pass it into that far corner, chokes it into the ground, and it stubs it past the post. And you see his disappointment here and his reaction. And here's the goal now. All the bodies forward, getting loads of numbers into the box again, in and around the box, nice and bright. Stood up from Patrick. I think it's Diaku that goes in there, a little bit of a turtleneck. Defender goes in there with him, and it drops to Jefferson at the far post. And it's a good composure, is what I'd say from him. Was he 19-year-old, isn't he? I think 19, 20-year-old. Touch off his chest, sets himself well. Just concentrate on it, really. Good contact on the ball.
It's hard because he's got to try and get it down as well, hasn't he? He's got to get over the ball.
And he could easily panic there and thrash out it thinking, I'm going to get tackled, but he doesn't. Look, sets himself, bang. Lovely contact, past the keeper before he knows it. And I think that we deserve that over the course of the 90 minutes, if I'm honest.
He'll remember that one, his first goal in
English football. Well, and it's good. It's at the end as well, where the Sunderland fans are behind that goal. Shirts off, he's away, picks up a yellow card. But will he be bothered about that, getting back on the bus? I don't think he will. But yeah, a lot of positives. Yeah. The young lads coming on. When Tony Mowbray looks at his bench, you need to look at these boys and say, can they come on and have an effect on the game? And that's what they've done today. Yeah,
Sunderland using all 5 substitutions this afternoon, and I like the look of Abdullah Barr as well, who came on.
Yeah, I think he was trying to dictate play, wasn't he? He wanted to get on the ball. Similar Jay Matete coming on alongside him. Ahmad as well. They were all bright coming off the bench, I thought, and we needed that spark at that moment in time, really, because we said it there, 15, 20 minutes. We looked a bit leggy, maybe. Obviously, the boys played in the week. Yeah. A lot of those lads played in the 90 minutes. But that's what your bench is for. You've got the 5 subs, use them. Tony Mowbray brought them on early, and they had a massive impact on the game.
Yeah, we've seen that from other teams against Sunderland so far this season. Yeah. And probably for the first time this season, we've seen impact from Sunderland.
Ourselves, yeah. I think you go back to Norwich, prime example, I think, wasn't it? Looking at them when they come up to the Stadium of Light, got the goal. They needed a lift that day, given that. But today, it was about us.
Very good. Let's have a look around EFL Sky Bet Championship, and we'll see the other latest scores. Here we go then. Swansea City 3, Hull City 0, Birmingham 0, Coventry 0, Burnley 2, Bristol City 1, Huddersfield 1, Cardiff 0, Luton 2, Blackburn 0, Millwall 2, Blackpool 1, Norwich 1, West Brom 1, Preston North End 0, Sheffield 2, QPR and Stoke 0-0, Wigan 0, Reading 1, Middlesbrough 0, Rotherham 0.
Yeah, look at that one, Sheffield United. Good solid win for them again. They're the team to catch, aren't they?
We will be looking at your thoughts in #AskDanny. I wonder if we could bring that up. I think we've only had a few people getting in contact this afternoon. Remember, if you want to get in touch with the programme, use the hashtag and have your say on any Sunderland game we are doing the production on. From Stephen, even when Sims returns, do you think we'll keep a similar system after still managing to score goals in the last 2 games, Danny?
Yeah, I think if Sims or obviously Ross Stewart are fit, then you want that focal point up the top end of the pitch. Yes, we are scoring goals, and we got 3 in the week without a striker. Obviously, Sims had gone off and we scored the 3, and then obviously today as well we've managed to get a couple. But no, I think whatever formation we play, it was almost a standard 4-4-2. Looking at that today, I was surprised Elliott was up there alongside Alex Pritchard, pressing from the front. Dan Neil and Corey Evans in there behind them. But no, whatever formation we go with, whether it's a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3, I think if Sims is fit, he'll be up there. He gives us a presence as well. You could see that, I think, in that 15-20 minutes at the start of the second half, we couldn't get out. Balls were going up there, it was coming back. They regained possession, forced us back. And then I think teams will cotton on if we haven't got a big, not saying you have to have a big target man to shell balls up to, but that focal point, when you're under the cosh a little bit, you need to clip balls into somebody just to get hold of it for you. That's what one of them two bring for you. It's natural for them, whereas Pritchard will do a job, but it's not his game really. He's used to receiving the ball, facing the goal more often than not. But yeah, if they're fit, I'd imagine they'll be in the starting 11.
Your man of the match today, you pulled out Ajay Elise as your man of the match. Only his second start in professional football and getting on the score sheet as well this afternoon. What was it about Ajay this afternoon which impressed you? Yeah,
well, he's had to bide his time, hasn't he, coming into the team really, and obviously making his first start there, as you mentioned, on Wednesday night down at Reading. I thought he was excellent. He was strong. He's quick. 1v1. He looks comfortable. I thought it was a back four on Wednesday, and same again today in that left back position. Whether he'll go on to be a centre half, but I think playing at left back, it brings your game on as well. I've done that myself. Played a lot of games in both positions. Obviously, it's a completely different role. He looks like he enjoys getting forward. You see that today. There he is there, getting us back on level terms just before half-time. And he had one just before that, didn't he, where Jack Clark had made a run across the pitch.
He quite often finds himself in advanced positions, doesn't he?
Yeah, and that's what, he's a young lad, he's learning the game, but at the same time, with Tony Mowbray there on the dugout side in front of him, encouraging him and knowing when to get forward, when the play's developing. If Linden's tucking in on that side, that's your licence to get forward, and the play develops across your pitch. But he's got to learn that, and that's what will help his game. Playing at left back, he may enjoy playing at centre half as well. But at the moment in time, it's Luke O'Nien, Danny Bart. Dennis, unfortunately, has picked up his injury, so it's an opportunity for him to come into the team, and he's taken that. He was excellent on Wednesday, and arguably man in the match on Wednesday. I know Patrick got the goals. So the glory men are the ones who get the goals. But I'm looking out for the lads at the back as well. And I thought today, defensively, he was sound. Got his goal. He was getting forward when he could. And I just thought it was a good, solid performance. One or two others as well. Again, you can mention Patrick at times. Came into the game, was trying to get us going. And the boys off the bench. But over the 90 minutes, I think I'd go for Elise.
A couple more things I want to discuss with you before the end of the programme. As a couple of weeks before Sunderland's next game, it looks like we'll be here on SFC Live on the 1st of October. That's against Preston North End at the Stadium Alive. 3 p.m. kickoff for that. Hope you can join us on SFC Live for that one. International break. Sunderland will probably want to keep, things oiled in there. Yeah. Tony Mowbray won't want to lose any of this momentum he's got at the moment, will he?
Well, no, we won't. But I think if you're looking at who we're likely to get back, I think Dan Ballard's obviously still got a bit to go, hasn't he? Obviously, Ross is going to be missing for a little bit longer. I think we're more than likely it's a good time to come for Ellis Sims. Has he got a broken toe? I'm not sure. He was down there with the team today, I think, wasn't he? But obviously,
Tony Mowbray is suggesting that after the international break, he should be available.
Should be back,
for
yeah.
us. So and Dennis Serkin.
And then Dennis Serkin as well. So if you can get a couple back. But it'd be interesting, as I mentioned there, Elise's come into the team, took his opportunity. Tony might feel he doesn't have to rush Dennis back if he's not quite right. He's been more than capable. He's come in, he's been a solid deputy, if you like, in that left-back position, hasn't he? So I'd be happy to keep him in. I'm not saying Dennis has to now compete for the shirt, but that's what you want throughout the team. You see the young boys coming on today as well. They come into the club where, the team is almost picking itself in a way. The starting 11 were producing performances and getting results. So these young lads are about to come in. They're going to have to train really hard. Even during this international break, they might have a couple of behind closed doors games, get them up to speed, but they look sharp when they come on today. 10-15 minutes, some of the lads there in the heat, but no, they came on. It was almost, not saying to prove a point, but just to say, listen, we're here now, we're going to push the lads who have got the shirts, and then after the international break, new manager comes in as well, so you're looking to impress him. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Final point on the programme this afternoon. 10 games in now for Sunderland. They sit 5th in the Sky Bet Championship. They've adapted to life okay, haven't they?
Well, that'll do us after, 46 games. We'll take that, won't we? Yeah, but no, long way to go. Listen, it's been a good start, I think, if we're going to assess the games, 10 games in. We've been more than the match for any team. As I said, there's nothing to fear. We've played, you look at the table as it stands, Sheffield United, difficult one to gauge in a way. Dan Neil sent off after half an hour, but the lads rallied down there. We got beat by the odd goal, wasn't it? 2-1 down there. The lads put a shift in. Norwich coming up here, nothing in that really. They took that by the odd goal. So few and far between in terms of the games. And you look at the performance where we've really turned up. Down at Reading, 3-0. Here against Rotherham, 3-0 as well. Bristol City, 3 goals down there. So we're scoring goals, And other than today, we had tightened it up in recent weeks. I think we conceded 2 in the last 5 games at the back. Again, you break goals down. They were sloppy goals today. The second one especially, really, wasn't it? But no, overall, I think if you're looking for a mark, I'd give us an 8 out of 10, if I'm honest. Yeah, and you're coming into the season as well with a lot of lads unknown, as we said on comms there. With some of the boys hadn't played at this level. The young lads there coming on haven't really played. Never mind playing at this level, haven't really played any men's senior football, have they? So learning experience for them. And in terms of the recruitment staff as well, they're bringing players in who are unknown, but I'm sure they've looked at them, they've scouted these players, and they're confident that they can come into the club and they can contribute between now and the end of the season. Okay, thanks, Danny. Thanks for your company this afternoon. Thank you to you, whoever you are and where you've been watching around the world here on SAFC Live today. We will be back on the 1st of October against Preston North End at home at the Stadium of Life. 3 p.m. kickoff for that one. The show will start at around about 2:30, and you get your matchday streaming passes for that at safc.com. Enjoy the international break. Sunderland are 5th in the Championship. See you soon.